Now let's talk about outcomes. Objectives are actually a little bit different than outcomes. When people think about outcomes, they often think about zero-sum games. That means that if I win, you lose. For example, in Civilization Revolution, I either can beat the barbarians or the barbarians can beat me. However, there are many, many non-zero-sum games. There are games where there's no winning or losing. This is called Hacky Cat, in which you kick cats up in the air so they can eat cheeseburgers. Sure, why not? And you're basically always trying to better your last score. We've already talked a little bit about World of Goo, which is very similar in that you're beating your last score. This is Cityville, and Cityville is a lot like SimCity, in which you get to build a city that works. And again, there's no winner, there's no loser, there's just your personal pride in having the city that you really want. There are two games that are very, very alike. Hide and seek is probably something everybody's played. In fact, here we see hide and seek by a painting in the late 1800s by James Tissot of children playing hide and seek. Hey, I think I found them. And there's a variation of it played in England. And it's called Sardines. And in this case, instead of the children who are hiding from one seeker, as we saw over here, all the children except one, this little girl might have started it all, and then as more children find whoever's it, they will join. So pretty soon we're going to have a ton of kids hiding together, packed like sardines, waiting for the last kid to show up, who then becomes the new it. These two games have very, very similar basic layout. They have similar rules and similar mechanics, and yet they are very different. One feels you could get lost with hide and go seek, and people might not find you for days. With Sardines, the giggling eventually reveals everybody. Take out your game, your race to the end game. What is your objective? Think about it. When you're trying to get to the end, what are you trying to find? Is it the Holy Grail at the end? Or are you escaping from somebody? Why am I running this race at all? Your premise will really affect this, and we're going to be talking about that in games' dramatic elements. But in this case, if you are off to see the Holy Grail, that means that winning means you get the Holy Grail. But the challenges change as well. For example, now to race to the end, you have to get past the crabby old man who likes to ask ridiculous riddles.